No way, Jose.
The following footage proves beyond any doubt that the tanks intentionally set the house on fire. It proves that the Branch Davidians were murdered. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
We must all do more to recognize and look for the early warning signals that deeply troubled young people send.
Good morning. This is the NWJ podcast. You are watching The Morning Dump, and this is Jose Galison. What is up, people? Sorry, I'm missing the lighting. It looked a little too dark in here. But yeah, what's up, guys? Crazy night last night. There was a plane crash that dropped last night. I saw reports as well of fucking, I think, feds of some sort of shitload. Am I muted? Am I muted?
There we go. Sorry, guys. Good catch, Doctori. I don't know what the deal is, but like something about lately, it's supposed to be default when I pop in here. It goes to my thing, but for some reason it was showing. I could hear the reverb. I could see it on the mic. Everything was good. Yeah. Yes, I'm not muted anymore, I don't think, right? Let me know. Let me know you can hear me now. You should be able to hear me now. Give me a confirmation. Someone let me know you can hear me. It looks like on my end everything's good, but yeah, I accidentally had it set up for the normal mic is what it says. The drones took your volume away? My volume? Let me see. What? You still can't hear me? Please someone tell me you can't hear me, or I'm going to have to go give myself an old audio check real quick. This is not fun. If so, let me see. Check if you guys. Oh no, sorry, you're saying we're good now. Cool. We're good. No, what happened was I checked in. Sorry guys let's redo that. Hey guys, this is welcome to this is the No Way Jose podcast. Welcome to the Morning Dump. But yeah, sorry guys. What happened is I hooked up the mic and everything showed good, but the problem was it just didn't have on the settings. It went to another mic, but I don't know why it's doing that. It should default go to it, but whatever. All right, whatever. I'll just have to be more mindful of just double checking to make sure it's actually set on the right mic. Not usually something you have to do. It's usually set. Usually as long as I mess with these settings, I'm good. Those are the only settings I need to mess with. Too much shit. All right, guys. Sorry. I know you don't want that. Anyways, guys, it is the first of the month, February 1st. We're at it. Shit is still wild. I mean, it's continuing to be wild. I mean, we have... this got cut out because of my volume, but the rocket, exactly. Gogo said, "Did you see the rocket hit Philly?" Yeah, that's one thing I said when I was muted. Like we had that last night. That happened late last night, so I don't have a ton on that. So if you guys have any good links for that, feel free to drop them in the chat, preferably on Rumble, because I think YouTube will shadow ban like links and stuff, but Rumble, it's pretty good. Like it's great for this show. If you guys have a link, just drop it in the Rumble chat and I can bring it up. But yeah, we'll definitely be covering that today. Also, Trump. There's some stuff about Trump. Essentially, I guess is slated to get rid of a bunch of feds, like specific feds that were like in charge of like some of the shenanigans during his administration. So things are cooking. Things are getting wild. I saw some report, and I couldn't find it again. The internet did that stupid thing where I found it, and I was about to like bookmark it, and then it just like refreshed, and then I lost it, and I could never find it again. There, I saw some sort of story about like something about 88, feds being escorted out of some sort of building. I don't know if that's true, but apparently they are slated to here soon get rid of a bunch of them, which we'll get into that. We'll get into all of that. Well, while we wait for more people to roll in, I do want to take a moment to remind you guys that today's episode is brought to you by NWJ Shave Co. If you're tired of that razor burn irritation, those ingrown hairs that come from those multi-blade cartridges, then this is the way to go. You can return to traditional shave. You can shave just like your grandpa used to, whether you're shaving your whole face or edging up your beard. The single blades give you a barber grade shave for a fraction of the price. The standard issue includes one traditional safety razor and a box of 100 stainless steel razor blades. That puts you at about $75. The estimate here is it's supposed to last you for a year. Let's be real, it's probably going to last you a lot longer unless you're someone who shaves regularly. Now, if you're someone shaving on a daily, this probably isn't going to cut it for you. In that case, you're going to want to consider the Quarter Shave Club. That puts you about 25 cents per replacement. He's also got shave lathers. He's also got 3-in-1 body hair and face soaps as well. Take down Big Shave. Visit NWJShaveCo.com for all your grooming needs. But, I just do want to remind you guys, this is a COVID mandate refusing company. This company was born in a refusing mandate. So just let's run through this real quick. This is a cheaper product. This is a better product. And this is a product from a company that doesn't hate you. And on top of all of that, you can get 10% off if you use the code Jose for your entire order. And let them know I sent you. But yeah, I highly recommend this. This is a company that creates a great product that doesn't fucking hate you. So that's kind of the goal here. So all right, let's check back in with the chat. Everyone's saying hi. Do you see Feds versus Trumpers let Hungry Games begin? Penguin blue waving to, or are you just okay? Are you doing the Zoomer thing where they state the GIF that they're saying? Or maybe, okay, anyways. But anyways, here's everyone saying hi. Everyone's popping in. So, yeah. All right, let's get into it. Man, sorry, I'm a little flustered. I'm a little thrown off whenever something like that happens. I get all flustered. I had a whole plan. I just got ESTP. Man, you need to get an easier name. That one's rough. But hey, what's up? Nice to see you in here. Hey, Jack, good to see you in here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into some content, I guess. What the fuck? All right, does this mean, real quick, people out there, does this mean he's sharing some sort of visual thing, or is he literally saying that? Because that's weird to me. I don't know, maybe I ought to go look over at YouTube. But let's go ahead and get into some content. What's up, definitely guy who definitely doesn't catch fish, or whatever your name is? See, you just said you just pooped. That's nice. All right, let's get into this. Here's Benny Johnson, which I'll be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of. He kind of was a very big old Trump deep throater. So keep that in mind here. That is the bias we're going to be receiving at this very moment in time with this guy. He suck off the Trump for sure. So President Trump's the deep state bloodbath in the past 24 hours. All federal prosecutors handling January 6 cases fired. Computers locked and marched out of their offices by security. Maybe this is where the 88 that I was talking about. That must be it. This was at 7:10 last night. So, okay, then maybe that was what I was thinking of. So I guess some people were escorted out, is what I'm assuming. David Sundberg, the FBI assistant director at the helm of the J6 investigations, has been fired. 20 leaders of the FBI field offices have been escorted out of FBI buildings across the country. 51 intelligence officers who spread misinfo about Hunter Biden's laptop and interfered in elections are now banned from entering federal properties. Which I believe, if I recall correctly, I know they had just done something against them recently, which I believe they had just taken away their security clearance. So now they're going even farther. Super petty, but I'm entirely here for it. So cool. Now they're not even allowed in government. Awesome. Federal employees are now required to return to the office with non-compliance leading to termination. I've talked about this one before. I'm not entirely sure actually how I feel about that one. That really depends on the job. If anything, I'd rather prorate for what they're actually doing. So, because this whole age of COVID was kind of an eye opener in the idea of do we really all need to be doing things this way? Because once we were once a lot of people found new innovative ways to do things and started to realize oh shit, why were we doing it this way? This was a waste of fucking time. I could use this time to do this other thing, this company. And then even on the business side of things, it's a waste of money because you're hey, this guy clearly is he's able to do this at home, and you have this whole office and everything that you're wasting money on, and or all the stuff that you get for them, or even you may realize hey, we changed things up, and now this guy really only needs to work 3-4 hours a day, so we could cut his hours. I know that's kind of they may not like that, but it's I don't know, fill that time with something else. I know there's all sorts of options to be had here. So I don't know. I think just a one-size-fits-all, go back to work, go back to the office. I don't know if it's entirely is the greatest thing. Because, I work in the federal government. I know how much of that is waste. If anything, I know, if anything, it's a great opportunity to be oh, well, clearly you can do this from home, and we don't need you to, do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And then, cool, we get to save money. You get to save time. Win-win. But yeah, I definitely don't think you should be getting paid exactly the same if you're working less hours or whatever. John Bolton and John Brennan have been permanently banned for government buildings. I love that one. That was super petty which I don't even know what Bolton did recently. Did Bolton have some sort of, I don't know if any of you guys in the chat know, but let me know is there some sort of like weird, battle between Bolton and Trump that I am unaware of recently? Because they were on semi-friendly terms. Because even I know, what was it? I forget when it was, but some interview or something recently, Trump was going on about how, he hired Bolton as like on purpose. It's kind of like a bulldog, kind of like to scare things. And like, oh my God, like, I want to work with this guy being Trump because I have this Bolton guy over here and he's just going to kill us all. Point being is like, it was almost like a friendly in a certain kind of relationship. I didn't know them ever really having any issues, but I don't know. I don't follow the relationship that closely. I see the kid. Sorry if you heard that. I don't know why when the kid's yelling. I don't know what the fuck that was. Gerald Harold Rogers has been indicted for compromising U.S. trade secrets to China. Ban on all use of pronouns in government communication. I think they mean like wrong pronouns because like that would be retarded if we're just not using pronouns anymore. We're reinventing the human language. You know what? No one gets pronouns. We're getting pronouns altogether. No more fucking pronouns. All 2 million feds sent a resignation offer. Nice. This purge marks the beginning of the end of the corrupt tyrants in Washington. 11 days in, and the swamp has been drained. I think they should do that, honestly, in all government. I don't know if... I doubt when they're saying feds sent a resignation offer, they mean literally any federal worker. Because they did say federal worker at one point. I've seen that go around. But, like, for example, I doubt they're doing that to, like, the military and stuff. I mean, they're federal workers, but they're obviously a little bit different. But personally, I'd like to see this offer for everyone in the government. If you want out, hey, here's your opportunity. Take it. Get out. And we may not even replace you with anything. So, because, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Most of this stuff is a fucking waste. I mean, actually, I think literally all of this is a waste. So, I don't think the government does basically anything worth a damn. So, this purge marks the beginning of the end of the corrupt tyrants in Washington. 11 days in, and the swamp has been drained. All right, the last sentence is a little fucking gay. I don't know if I'd say it's been drained. I mean, I will say this is pretty dope. Pretty fucking dope. Good start. Good way to, but, I mean, I don't know if I'd say the swamp has been drained. We'll see. I mean, it's a little bit early to go that hard, but, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is a pretty ballsy move. This is a pretty big move. And I don't know, maybe we're seeing the effects of it as such. I mean, we just talked a little bit about all these planes, so we will see. Let's check in the chat, see what you guys have to say for a little bit. Yeah. Everyone liked that stream. There's more people now, I think, right? Yeah, hell yeah. But, yeah, more of y'all are rolling. Usually we get a good showing on these weekend ones, so it's early. It's only like 10 minutes in. Everyone, make sure you hit like on the stream, please. Bolton molested Toad is what Abrogate D says. Okay, well, there we go. I think that's where we're coming. What happened? I think that's the falling out between Trump and him. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me see. Sup, Gravy Chuggers. What's up, Joey Poopbag? What's up, Mike MCA? The blue. Okay. Good morning, Homo. Say good morning, Abrogate D's. Good morning, Kim. Happy to be here. Good morning. Happy to have you here. Benny is a grifter. Dr. Roy says he steals his content from other streamers. Even his catchphrase is stolen. I don't even know what his catchphrase is. All I know is that the only times I've ever seen him do anything, I fucking hate him. Hate him so fucking much. He's the fucking worst. I mean, I guess I don't know. Maybe that's overstating it. He's just like you know how especially as libertarian types are always like, I don't know, I'm not like this anymore, but 5-10 years ago it's like, the same left and right, it's the wing of the same bird, like it's a uniparty, like everyone's just a team player, like all the standard boilerplates thing. Like he's that guy. He literally is like that stereotypical, like what we think of like when we think of like a partisan player. Like he is that. He is to such a degree it's ridiculous. Like I've seen too many times where he's on, I don't know, like a Piers Morgan or something. He's arguing with somebody about something. It's like, okay, sure, yeah, usually they'll give him an insufferable leftist on the other side too. And if anything, I probably agree more with Benny on more like policy if I had to guess. But god damn, he is the fucking... He's just like, the left person could make a perfectly good point about something bad about Trump or some right-related thing, but Benny is the type that is just knee-jerk, anything right-wing Trump, any sort of whatever team, whatever he's supposed to be, boom, immediately he will come in with whatever the boilerplate thing is to be, and he will argue it to his death. It's weird. It's very odd. I know it's over. He overdoes it. It's weird. I don't like it. It grosses me out. And I don't know, something about it is really over the top and kind of fucking cheesy, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't Bolton had a bad mustache, is what Jack says. Bolton rolled the whole book throwing Trump on the bus, talking shit and making stuff. That's right. I forgot all about that. Good call, Mike. I totally forgot about that he did write a book and he talked mad shit about Trump. So it's like, all right, well, cool. Now you don't get to be in government, bitch. I like that. It's dope. Tim Tuttle says pronouns are punishable by death by military tribunal. Hell yeah, dude. Here we are now. No more pronouns. You guys need to figure out the English language. Let me see. So you can't use he. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, pronouns are gone, guys. What's up, CDs? What's up? So most Fed employees are sitting home gooning and shitposting anti-Trump memes is what Joey put. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So like it's a mixture. It's a mix of things. But I do think there's like an eye-opening component here when you are able to send a lot of these people home and you do get basically about the same amount of work done. So it's like, well, what does this tell you? That either you don't need this person or they can do it or it can be done from home or for less hours or whatever. Like, 'cause it's like, if it's really that simple, then like, why have you been doing it this way all the time? So, all right. I like amateur nouns. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing amateur nouns. We're keeping an amateur hour here. All right, let's pop over to Julie Kelly, see what she has to say. She says, CNN now reporting that dozens of FBI agents who worked on J6 2021 U.S. Capitol attack and Trump-related investigations, as well as some supervisors being evaluated for possible removal as soon as the end of Friday. I saw something about Monday. So, although I did see something yesterday about some people getting removed. So I do think some people got removed from some area, and then I guess there's like going to be a whole lot more stuff popping off on Monday. Is this coincidental once again with all this plane stuff? I don't know. We'll see. Once again, I do want to remind you guys, Julie Kelly. She's a good follow to have. She follows a lot of like the J6. She's really was good on the Michigan Whitmer Fednapping stuff. She was really great on that. So worth a follow if you like that sort of stuff. Agents who worked the investigation of Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents and those who investigated the roughly 1,600 rioters charged or convicted connected to the violent U.S. Capitol attack on J6 have been concerned they could face retribution for doing work they were assigned to do. Good. Many agents initially had qualms about being assigned to the Capitol attack and Trump cases, viewing the prosecution as heavy-handed. People familiar with the matter say some Justice Department lawyers leading J6 cases complained that they believed agents sometimes slow-walked some of their work. Agents slow-walk all their work. I could tell you as being a former government employee. Government employees slow-walk their work. That's just what they do. Like, I get paid, they get salary. They get paid the same. If they get, that doesn't makes no fucking difference. Like, I don't know. They give no shit about that. So, all right, let's pop back in with you guys. Jeffrey tubing it all day long. Hell yeah, dude. All right. What else, dude? Let's see. What do we want to go into now? All right, let's get into we got some new stuff on the Black Hawk one. Let's go here. Here's a new, more clear video of the collision between the helicopter and a passenger plane in Washington, D.C. This is Raylan Givens. Okay, I see a Israeli flag there, so I will not recommend following them. I have no idea who this person is, but whatever. Here is the video. Let's watch this together. So boom, per this angle, it literally just looks like it flew right at it. Just a direct beeline right towards it. So boom. That's all she wrote. Now, let's go look. I did see somewhere. Let me see if I can find it again. Damn it. Where did it go? Here we go. All right. Here is. I saw someone posting. I saw like a Bill Ackman here. It says, someone who's piloted a Black Hawk, please explain how this is possible. So I thought this would be useful. Obviously, we're a conspiracy show mostly over here. I guess you could say a parapolitical show, whatever you want to call it. But like, I'm obviously open to there being shenanigans here. We covered, I believe, in the last show, we kind of went to the remote piloting that they figured out how to do with Blackhawks. There's definitely reasons to believe that there could be some shenanigans afoot. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. It wouldn't be the first time the feds have taken down a plane. Maybe we can cover that in the future. I know my buddy Richard Booth has been posting about TW-800 a bunch, which was, I forget the specifics on that one. That was one of the multiple planes that have gone down the past that had, if I recall correctly, had a fuckload of weird spook connections, and like some people on the plane, they were like, what, okay, it seems like you didn't want this guy to exist anymore. Plane crashes seem to be one of the easiest, one of the most oopsies, ways to get rid of somebody. You can kind of, they're very few and far between, so it's probably saved for high level targets or when you really need to spread chaos. But yeah, all right. But anyways, this is Matt Leach. He's a former Black Hawk pilot because someone was asking to explain it. So we can see from his perspective what he has to say. I've never flown a Black Hawk, so I don't fucking know. I never even worked on them. I've told you guys before I was an aircraft mechanic, but I literally worked on specifically one type of aircraft. It's a KC-135. It's a refueler jet. It's the oldest of the refueler jets. I believe they're like made in like the 40s or 50s. So they've been around forever. Whereas this Black Hawk, this is very different. So my point being is I don't have much know-how when it comes to Black Hawk anything. So former black pilot here, I'll try to describe it for you. Imagine you are looking at the world through toilet paper tubes, and everything is just different shades of green and black with stars and ground lights to differentiate and aircraft lights that look the same as those. Then you have 3 different radio frequencies going off in your ears. Then you're trying to navigate without any peripheral vision, and you're trying to keep the aircraft under control. And you're trying to keep watch for all traffic, not just one plane, because there are several in the sky at once, and you're trying to mentally keep track of all of them. And you get distracted for like 5 seconds, or your focus goes elsewhere, like your instructor pilot asking you a question about airspace regulations. Boom. You're all dead. Flying these machines is really tough, and the airspace and NVGs, night vision goggles, make it a heck of a lot tougher. So that was another thing. I mean, taking this guy's word for it, it does sound, I guess, like it would be pretty difficult. So now then the question becomes, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why would you be running some sort of mission like this right next to a it was a training mission, is my understanding. We're going to get into that a little bit more here in a second. But yeah, it was a training mission. So, why are you running these weird night vision goggle training missions right near very, very busy airports? Just seems like, okay. I mean, if this is an issue, if this is something that's there's rife for complications, then why are you doing it? But I mean, I don't know. Maybe this was just like a blind spot when it comes to air traffic control rules or like procedures or whatever. So hopefully, I mean, there was one thing when I was in the aircraft mechanic, like we had books we had to read. They call them TOs. The military gave me technical orders. So there were literally books on how to do each individual job, like how to change a tire or whatever. And there were warnings in each one of those. And those were what we always said is those warnings were written in blood, and that's why they're red, because they would put like, hey, you'd have to read you were supposed to read the warning, like, hey, don't do this specific thing when you're completing this task. And the reason is all of those warnings were because somebody at some point in time in the almost 100 years this jet has been around, that someone has hurt themselves or done something or fucked up the jet, doing something doing that specific thing. So that's why they leave that, hey, don't fucking do that, dummy. And then over time it goes away. So hopefully maybe this is just a somewhat necessary growing pain in this realm, unfortunately. So hopefully maybe we won't see this going forward, but I'm completely sure. It really is one of those ones that could be anything. It could be whatever. So all right, let's pop back in with you guys. I think John Birch was the first murder by plane crash, says Joey Poopbag. Perhaps. I have no idea. All right, guys, make sure you guys are over there hitting that like button. All right. Let me see. All right, here we go. Here is from one of you guys. He says, I was just talking about continuity of government yesterday in different contexts. My buddy Black Eye, General Milley, was in charge of continuity of government at some point, if memory serves. So here is Pete Hegseth, who says the Black Hawk that collided with the plane over DCA was on a continuity of government training mission, which, I mean, I've told you guys before, I was prior active Air Force, military mechanic, aircraft mechanic, whatever. This is not something I don't really, the continuity government, that's not something that like really, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like I hear that and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So we will kind of dig into it. So my point being is I don't have any sort of like inside info to give you there. I don't know what that means, like a continuity of government training mission. I mean, if anything, like I don't know. I mean, I could make a guess, but I don't know. But we'll get into that. So here we go.
Staff Sergeant and CW2 Chief Warrant Officer on a routine annual retraining of night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission. The military does dangerous things. It does routine things. Staff Sergeant and CW.
All right, continuity of government. There you go. Sorry, I thought this was going to be longer. I shouldn't have put food in my mouth. Give me a second. I'll chew this up. Sorry about that. That was really unprofessional. Sorry, trying to eat my breakfast at the same time. I was thinking the video was longer. It was not. All right. Let me see. Where we are. All right. Now here we also have this. We'll get back into the continuity government thing. We'll come back around to it, but I want to cover some surface level stuff first. All right, Matt Walsh says the military is withholding the name of the female helicopter pilot. He says it's totally unacceptable. The helicopter is involved in and may have actually caused one of the worst airline disasters in American history. We have a right to know the names. Now, this is, it's actually funny. Tripoli was just on IRL the other day, Timcast. Weirdly, Tim was out, so it was like it was like Shane Cashman, Phil Labonte, Raymond Stanley, maybe someone else I'm forgetting. But anyway, yeah, it was an odd. But yeah, I remember that was one thing they were talking about a lot in there. And old Sammy Boy brought up the old point of kind of like, look, everyone's trying to make this like a DEI thing. I mean, I will say, I think I love Sam, but I have seen him going a little hard in the pain of like, this is intentional, and he might be right. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. If anything, I lean a little bit towards it, but accidents do happen too. And given the timing of it, if accidents, it's kind of one of these like, if let's say the feds are doing shit. Okay, it would probably look like this. Now, let's say there were a couple accidents. It would also look like this probably, because it's like people, if accidents were going to happen at this time, people are also going to be looking at these with a scrutinous eye, because they're like, what the fuck? What, like, at this given in time, where we're at this weird flux of changing of the guard. But it does seem weird that like, oh, we're going to keep the female name out. Oh, okay. All right, why? Like, it just almost feels like an intentional, just to get them more worked up about it's because she was black, or because she was a woman, or because she was Asian, or because, and like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm fully on board with it, like, DI not good. No argument here, but it's so often more than, there's been too many times where the knee-jerk is, they're fucking women, it's because they're hiring women. And like, yeah, sure, that could be the case. But I think there's some times where there might be some intentionality here. It just kind of seems like an easy excuse. So I don't know. I don't think it's as easy as just going, because it's a woman. So, no, we'll see. All right, let's pop back in. All right, actually, never mind. Here we go. One second. I'm trying to find the... all right, here is Whitney Webb. She says, here's a primer on what top national security officials mean when they say continuity of government. Here is what Newsweek, this is from 2020, March 23rd, what Newsweek conveniently failed to mention about continuity of government. Though often discussed in relation to nuclear war or similarly chaotic scenario, continuity of government plans can be triggered even by popular, non-violent opposition to an unpopular war abroad. It exists solely to keep the current system in place regardless of the cost. Okay, so, honestly, just based off that one paragraph, this kind of makes it sound like it's not that bad. I'll read a little bit more of this and see if maybe she's cooking with something. But it kind of looks like the conspiratorial view of someone who doesn't really know what, so far. Once again, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm about to dig this, but it's sounding a lot like this is just kind of like a vague way to describe a lot of the exercises that I actually did when I was in the military. Because they're saying, for example, we ran a shitload of like nuclear exercises. Like, we weren't actually handling nukes, but the idea was like, you're playing pretend, like, oh no, what would we do if we were in a nuclear war? How quick can we get our jets geared up? Can we do this? Can we do that? Like, just kind of the idea of like, oh, you got your jet ready to go in like 10 minutes. Oh, cool. Now we can put this in the books, and we can assume that like if X situation was to happen, we could respond in whatever amount of time. Like, it's that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what that sounds like here. He said, so though often discussion in relation to nuclear war or similarly chaotic scenario, continuity of government plans. So this sounds literally exactly what I'm talking about. The sort of exercise we would do, which we would just like be prepared to generate, essentially send all the planes up in the air, so that they're not sitting on the ground, but essentially being easy nuclear targets. Essentially allowing them to kind of constantly be, patrolling the air, and being as a refueler, they can kind of stay up there borderline forever by like kind of continually refueling. It is essentially being ready to refuel other nuclear, people that would have bombs or whatever, to send them off, and just all whatever different plans would happen in these scenarios. So I don't know. I know like she's saying like, ooh, continuity of government, and like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't know. They do exercises. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's not. It gets a little bit sexier when you talk about like it can also be triggered by popular nonviolent opposition to unpopular war abroad. So it's like, yeah, sure, I guess sure could be relation to other things. Maybe there's other scenarios that would fall under this continuity of government, using the nuclear war scenario. So I don't know what the specifics were of this, but I guess it wouldn't surprise me if this was some sort of like some sort of weird scenario like that. So I don't even really know where people are going with this. I mean, I guess maybe the nonviolent opposition, they're like, oh, they're practicing in case you guys take over. I mean, maybe that could have been what the specific scenario was here, but it also could have just been like a generic nuclear war thing that they run. It could be like some annual training exercise they do. Like all those nuclear ones that I was talking about or whatever. It's just shit we just did somewhat regularly. I don't even know what the fucking, how often we did them. It's just a thing you do, you know? Military does exercises. I mean, I'd prefer they didn't. Lost a lot of wasted money. So, last week, News Vitalist published a report entitled "Inside the Military's Top Secret Plans If Coronavirus Cripples the Government," which offers vague descriptions of different military plans that could be put into effect if the civilian government were to be largely incapacitated, with a focus on the potential of the current novel pandemic to result in such a scenario. Yet there are key aspects of COG. Okay, let me see. I don't know. I mean, the more I'm like scrolling over this, it kind of sounds like what I'm saying, where it's like, I don't know, you can kind of make a mountain out of a molehill with this, but it is kind of like, and yeah, sure, some of these are kind of like, whoa, that's wild, they do that. But yeah, I know these are kind of like just standard things. The article's author, William Arkin, largely frames these plans as new, though buried deep in the article, he eventually mentions that such contingency plans can be traced back to the Eisenhower administration and have since been developed and updated by most subsequent administrations, largely through the issuance of executive orders. She also points out some of these COG plans include the devolution of leadership and constitutional authority, which he notes could circumvent the normal constitution provisions for government secession, and military commanders could be placed in control around America. I mean, I don't know. This is, I mean, as I guess I kind of pointed out, like, I guess, you know, from my perspective, those exercises I laid out before, those were kind of like, I mean, I guess it's just like the run. Like it would make sense that on different sides of the game, like if you were, you know, on Black Hawk helicopters or if you were in a leadership position or whatever, that these exercises would play out differently, and if you're playing out the scenario of like a nuclear war or something, it's like also you're kind of concerned about who gets the leadership, because it's like, who knows, maybe the president just got nuked, and like now we got to figure out who this goes. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these were components of those exercises that I just didn't see because I was working the aircraft mechanics side of it. So I don't know. I mean, so far as like being conspiratorial, I like the idea that like the COG thing somehow implicates something darker with this specific scenario. Like you can say you don't like the idea that they do these exercises, and I or the implications of them, but what we're exploring here is that there's some sort of implication that this could mean something more conspiratorial in relation to this specific instance, like it was in a false flag or something. I don't see that being the case so far. All right, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to completely finish. I'm not going to read all this because I mean, I'm kind of, that's the vibe I'm getting so far. I mean, I don't know if you guys disagree with me. Can you see, here we go. COVID. Dr. Roy says COVID mandates are more likely cause of the short staffing in the tower. Okay. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that was true. There was a lot of people who bounced out when it came to during COVID, because like it was specifically pilots I'm thinking of, but I wouldn't be surprised if other staff as well had similar type things. All right, let's get to the other crash then. That's I don't know if you guys have. I mean, I can go deeper into that. Just I don't know. I'm not. That's just my impression. I mean, I know there's any other military guys in the chat that maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is something to be concerned about here. I'm unsure as of now. So all right, let's go share. Let's share this. 1 second. Let's damn it. Crap. Where did it go? Here we go. All right. Here's from Mindy Robinson. I don't know how legit this is because this is. I've seen multiple different angles of this. So there was that plane crash last night in Philly. So this is Mindy Robinson. She's like keeps getting sent this video of the latest plane crash in Northeast. If this is 100% real, then someone owes the public an explanation on why it looks like a missile, which it does. And now I've seen this. Actually, I'll say this. I've seen 2 camera angles that show basically this, and then I haven't really seen any other ones that didn't really show the explosion as well, or you just saw the aftermath. So I've seen 2. So I don't know to what degree this is reliable. Maybe this could be some sort of other old videos, doing the rounds from something else somewhere else in the world. I don't know. So I'm throwing this out there to let you guys know. Don't jump on this as if this is truth, because I don't know. I have no idea. This could be edited. For example, I almost actually shared with you guys today. Joe Rogan shared something on Twitter the other day, which was like this photo from Mars, and it looked like almost like a square butting, like almost like it was like you could see like a square design, like almost it was like coming up from the ground, almost as if there's like a building underneath like the debris or something. Like the idea being like, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of building there and like millions or thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years ago, and debris is built up over it, but you can kind of see the top poking out, so you can see the square outline. But then I found the original one, and it's like they sharpened up the edges. So it's like it was one of those ones where there's a couple areas that kind of almost look like points, and so your mind might fill in the rest. But now then, if you do minor editing, you can sharpen those lines and make them even. It clearly was just probably a natural thing. I mean, sure, maybe it could have been a building under, but it looked more like some sort of natural something or other that then was slightly edited to make look like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? So this could be the case too. I mean, how hard would it be to edit the after effects of the explosion here? But anyways, enough talking about it. I'll show you guys for the audio listeners. I'll just go ahead and let you guys know that like it's an explosion, and there was a plane crash last night. From my understanding, for a recall quickly, it was supposed to be like a small jet. I believe it was a medevac jet. From my recollection, I believe it was supposed to be a child, maybe one or two other people on it. It was some sort of medevac jet, very small jet. Which that's another key thing to remember when you're watching this. It's a small plane. This explosion is fucking huge, like huge. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, planes have fuel in them stuff. So I mean, they probably make pretty big booms when they explode, quite often. But we just were looking at just a minute ago the other video of the planes that crashed, and we got a little explosion there. Think about that explosion. Keep in mind both of those aircrafts are larger than this one. Although maybe it's about the same size as the Black Hawk now that I think about it. But the Black Hawk's actually even then probably still bigger. But let's see. Watch this. Oh, anyways, the audio people, it's huge. Yeah, so you can get the fuck out of here. We're trying to tell me that's a plane. I mean, you can eat my whole dick there. So here we go. Jose, are you a space is fake guy? I'm not. But I'm also not a space is real guy, if that makes sense. I don't really have a strong opinion on space. I just don't really care. So the link above, Dr. Tori says the link above is the ground video of the plane debris. Let's go ahead and take a peek over that. Just to remind you guys, you can drop links in here. Also, Twitter is a good place to drop tag me and stuff if there's things you want me to bring up. Just remind you guys. Not during the show. During the show, you're going to want to put that on Rumble because I'm not checking my notifications during my Twitter notifications during this. So unless you specifically tell me in the chat or something, like you drop it in my inbox, it's no. But anyways, breaking update is from Nick Sorter. Breaking update: the plane which crashed in Philly appears to be a Learjet 55 air ambulance from Mexico. Okay, so it was coming from Mexico. Seems to have crashed shortly after takeoff from Philly's executive airport. No word on what caused it to crash into the ground like a missile. All right, so here is the thing. Yeah, so honestly, probably roughly about the same size as a Black Hawk, or even smaller, perhaps. So keep in mind, we were just looking at a video of a plane exploding earlier. So all right, let's look at this video.
Misericórdia.
Well, this is the aftermath.
Misericórdia.
Okay, so you can see paces of the plane. So that's legit.
Caramba, mano. Você tá louco. Que loucura.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, but I haven't heard any word yet, is to explain it, is that maybe it hit something. Like if it hit some sort of propane truck or something. That's the only thing I really think of, because, I mean, that was huge. All right. But yeah, we just saw a picture of a piece of the plane, so at least we can, I would say, fairly safe to say there was a plane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Back up! Get away! Get away! Excuse me? Excuse me? Gotta go! You have to go that way. Gotta go.
Yeah, sad stuff. You can see more plane pieces.
A loucura que tá isso aqui. E o tanto de peça. Olha lá onde tem fogo ali, ó. Atingiu foi 2 lugares, não foi só um não. 2 lugares.
All right.
Wow.
All right, yeah, that's wild shit. All right, let's pop back in. From my understanding, they had just refueled. I mean, even so, dude, that's... Jesus Christ, dude, that was a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I've, conducted experiments and like, let's explode this jet, let's explode that jet, let's do this one at half full, let's do full. So I don't really have a very good frame of reference, but man, it is hard to avoid that like inside feeling of like, what the fuck is going on here? Let's see. All right, here we go. What else we got? All right, let's give you an update on the, I know you guys were asking about the Zizians yesterday, so I figured I'd give you a kind of like the latest. We covered a lot of this, but although we may retread stuff, this is such a confusing story that I think it is worthwhile to keep checking in, just to kind of, because it took a few read-throughs for different articles and that to really even just like understand what the hell, like all the connections. It's just confusing. It's weird. And a lot of it was like kind of accumulating at the moment, if that makes sense. Like this was still incoming information that was being like, people were realizing, oh, this is connected, that's connected. So it was still very like disjointed. And so now it's making a little more sense. So yeah, Andy Noah says, are you confused by who's involved in the anti-fascist trans terror cult linked to multiple brutal homicides? The New York Post published a graphic with a new report showing the key players, including the so-called cult leader Jack Andrea Ziz Lasota. So you can see the photos here. Sorry for the audio people. Oh, damn it. What the? Sorry, I was trying to zoom in with my finger. I don't know what I just did. All right, here we go. There we go. Back. So here we go. All right, here you go. God damn it. Stupid. The Ziz cult. All right, the authorities are investigating the connection. So here you can see Zach Liz Lasota. Or Zach Ziz Lasota. This is the leader one. So this is a dude that became a chick, I guess. The transgender leader of the group who has posted about transhumanism and other topics. Some followers say Lasota is dead, but that seems to be a plot to avoid authorities. Lasota also used the name Andrea Phelps. So yeah, that's a dude became a chick. Yeah, that's the one that we talked about the other day that has, essentially faked its own death. Is the leader of this supposed cult. Here we have Amir Emma Borhanian and Alexander Somni Leatham, two transgender Zizians who are accused of attacking Curtis Lind. So this is the old guy who was allowing these people to live essentially in his like tractor trailers and storage containers and stuff on his land. And then these weirdos started fucking essentially lured him to them and then attacked him, tried to kill him. And then he actually was able to kill one of them. Get them away, and then they came back, like, I think a couple years later when he was set to testify, and then they stabbed him to death, finished off. But essentially, they, like, lured him into their place, hit him with a pipe when he was, like, from behind or something like that, hit him with something hard from behind, knocked him out, and then as he came to, they were trying to cut his head off, and he woke up and I guess blew, like, I don't know if he had a gun on him, if there's a gun nearby or what, but then he blew one of them away and was able to get out of there. But he had been, like, stabbed, and he had been impaled with a samurai sword and stabbed a shitload at that point, and they were trying to cut his head off. But they later then came back, I think a couple years later, when he was set to testify and finish the deal. So anyways, so because they were squatting on this property or accused of attacking him, Lind, who lost an eye in the attack, shot and killed Borhanian. So the one on the left here is the one who died, but was going to testify against Leatham and another accused assailant and Ziz follower, Suri Dow. Here's Maximilian Bentley Snyder. Snyder has been arrested for allegedly killing the 82-year-old, so he's the one who came back later and finished the job. To prevent him from testifying for the trial, Lind was stabbed and had his throat slit January 17th on the street outside his home in Vallejo, California. Here's Lind, victim number one, just an old guy. That was from the first attack, I guess, where he survived, and then obviously they tried to come back and kill him later. So here is Teresa Milo Consuelo Youngblood here. You can see that photo of him, her, or whatever. Then you have Felix Ophelia Buckle. I will give it to the old Teresa here, assuming that one's a trans, which I don't know if it is. I think it might want to just be actually just a normal chick. If that's a trans, they're doing a good job. They pulled it off. Good for them. Youngblood and Buckhold. No, these two were engaged to be married. So Snyder. No, never mind. Snyder. So the one who killed Lind was the one who was set to be married to Teresa, a Youngblood. So this is who ends up being the ones who ends up killing the Border Patrol agent. Youngblood and Buckhold, both transgender, were stopped by Border Patrol agent David Milland on January 20th. Youngblood allegedly shot at Milland, who was killed. Buckhold was killed by return fire. So the one on the right here is the one who was killed. Although it was Youngblood on the left here, I guess it was supposedly allegedly shot him. Youngblood was arrested. Okay, there you go. And then there's David Milland on the bottom. He's who died. We talked about this before. He was like a prior Air Force vet, I think. I mean, it's sad. Sad story. And then we have over here Michelle Jacqueline Zajko. So this is the one, I believe, who murdered her parents, or got helped to murder her parents at least. Authorities say the gun Youngblood used in the border patrol attack was bought by Zajko, the trans non-binary adult child of Rita and Richard Zajko, who were found killed in mysterious and unsolved circumstances in Delaware County, Pennsylvania in early 2023. Zajko, whose blog shows connections to the Ziz cult, is now being sought by authorities. Then here's a photo of her parents. All right, let me see. How do I get out of this? All right, boom. Now, here we go. All right, then here's a little thing. And then a couple more updates, and then we're out of here on this part, at least. Leftist and Antifa accounts on social media have been expressing support for the Ziz trans terror cult. God, linked to multiple homicides. They're hoping the reporting the cell will have an effect on radicalizing others to joining. So here's a couple of things he took from it. Here's someone named Slime Priestess. Don't do any AI research. Fake death. Reveal survival immediately. Kill friend's parents. Order revenge it. What is she planning? And then some sort of like weird, like little, nymph energy thingy. I don't know. Then here's another one. Sasha. They're also retweeting Andy No, who is warning of a trans terrorist organization who killed the U.S. border guard. Sounds pretty based. Not gonna lie. It's not a terrorist organization. It's like a tiny cult built around weird sleep practices on the West Coast. No is blowing things out of proportion to incite panic. Wait, what? It's not. It's like a tiny cult built. Yeah, but they've killed like fucking what was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 people at this point. So yeah, fuck out of here saying they're not a big deal. I mean, these are just a couple people that Andy No showed. I know it doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, cool. There's a couple fucking retards online, but I don't know. Maybe that is indicative of a lot of people. There are other members of the Ziz trans terror cult, that keeps getting me, who are at large. One of the members is Gwen Danielson, a 30-year-old biological male. I can exclusively report after investigating that Gwen was legally named Jasper R. Danielson, and he came from Spokane, Washington, before moving to the Bay Area and joining the cult. Danielson has been close with Jack Ziz Lazota for years, having been arrested together in 2019, along with Amir Emma Borhanian and Alexander Somni Leatham, 2 members who later allegedly tried to assassinate elderly man Curtis Lind with a sword. In 2022, Danielson likely faked his death to avoid accountability. Oh, so another one who faked his death. Holy shit, Ziz faked his death too. Okay. In an ongoing criminal case in Sonoma County, California. His then attorney, Gerald Friedman, told the court he got an email that said there was a rumor Danielson committed suicide. There is a bench warrant for Danielson's arrest, like there is for Ziz Lasota, who faked his death that same year. In October 2022, the Board of Harbor Commissioners in San Mateo County, California, put forth a motion to remove a sinking boat that Danielson and a man named Daniel Powell owned lived at and abandoned there. Powell's social media says he is an air traffic controller for the FAA. Okay, holy shit. This guy's okay. Wait, which one's Powell? A man named Daniel Powell owned. So he lived in the house of an air traffic controller. So this is that person, the Danielson individual. So there's another person at large out there. So I guess if you see him, oh geez, that's who it used to be. All right. Well, geez, they lost a lot of weight, huh? All right. And here we go. Oh crap! I actually scrolled past it. Here we go. And then I believe this is the last thing here. New images have been released of Teresa Milo Youngblood and Felix Ophelia Buckholt, the 2 leftist trans cult members involved in a deadly incident with a U.S. Border Patrol agent in Vermont. Buckholt, a German national on a current visa, died in the shooting, as did the border agent. Youngblood is in custody and has been denied bail. Yeah, it's funny how this kind of started as being like weird, look at this weird immigration story, because I believe he was like an H-1B1 person or something. But no, how this has become so much more. Youngblood's in custody is denied bail. Both of them come from well-to-do backgrounds like the other members of the Ziz trans cult. All right, that's what we got so far. So, I mean, I will say Andy No has an ongoing thread to keep up with it. I just figured we'd pop in there. It maybe help you guys be able, kind of come to terms with understanding this as well, because I'm still a little confused too. Kind of working this out together. Let me pop in the chat, and then we'll get into the Oklahoma City bombing reading of this, and then we'll get out of there. Medplane would have some tanks on it for oxygen. Might be an issue combined with a full fueled plane. That's fair. That's true. There might even be liquid oxygen. That is a thing. I remember that from my time. My planes didn't take liquid oxygen, but those are incredibly explosive. Liquid oxygen. I don't know how they do it, but essentially, there are certain planes take liquid oxygen. So perhaps that has something to do with it. Who was the patient? The patient is Dr. Ray says the second picture is Powell. Oh, so that dude was the air traffic controller. I'm retarded. Who was the patient? From my understanding, it was a little kid. That's what makes this even more sad. Fucked up stuff. All right, guys, we're gonna pop on over to the. We're gonna do the reading portion. Give me a second. Here we go. We're gonna finish our reading on the surveillance footage stuff. So here we go. Here. Oh, crap. So here was where we left off. News reports cite law enforcement passenger appears on tapes. So now we see two headlines here. Surveillance tape shows shadowy passenger in bomb truck. This is just proof that these were being reported on at the time that there was a passenger. So this is from the Tuscaloosa News on Saturday, October 28th, 1995. And then we also have the Associated Press doing a passenger seen in bombing truck. Now it even says videotape from a surveillance camera captured a glimpse of a shadowy figure. So they supposedly somehow these people have a how do I get out of there? Crap! Oh no! What do I get out of that? I don't want to. Crap! I don't know how to get out of that fucking. I enlarge it. Now it won't let me undo it. Oh, damn it! Crap! All right, sorry guys. That's a really great. Damn it! Son of a bitch. Oh, it opened a separate tab. I'm retarded. It opened a tab when I did that. I didn't even realize it. Look, this is what I was looking at. I was looking at this guy's. It opens a separate tab. I'm sorry. I'm retarded. That's confusing for you guys. Let's do this again. I'm an idiot. Let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. We're back at it. Sorry, I fucked up. Now I know it opens a separate window if I click on them to expand. You guys didn't even see what I was looking at because I didn't share it. In addition to the FBI evidence log and Secret Service timeline, there are news media accounts published months after the bombing where law enforcement sources familiar with this recording describe what appears on the footage. On October 28th, 1995, Associated Press report, headline, surveillance tape shows shadowy passenger in bomb truck, quoted one law enforcement official stating that the surveillance footage shows a passenger in the Ryder truck with McVeigh. The source of that footage was identified in the article as a security camera mounted on a nearby apartment building. That camera is presumably the Regency Towers apartments building's camera, cited by FBI agent Hersley on April 27th, 1995 hearing. Yet another law enforcement official saw surveillance footage taken from two cameras positioned near Fifth Street. Those sources told a LA Times reporter and an Oklahoma News Channel KFOR4 TV report that what they saw in the recordings. KFOR reporters Kevin Ogle and Brad Edwards relayed what their sources told them in a broadcast that aired on KFOR4 TV News in October 1995. All right, so these are their sources are telling them they see this. A Ryder truck with two men inside of it. This is quoted from it. I'm not going to watch the video. You can go check out the article and watch the video yourself. Ryder truck with two men inside of it parked at the bomb site in front of the Murrah building. The driver's side door opens and McVeigh steps out and walks away towards Fifth Street and the Journal Records building. The passenger stays inside the cabin for a period of time, then exits on foot in the same direction as McVeigh. All right, now we're at the attempted sale of footage to Dateline NBC. I always forget which one. Dateline NBC. I need to drill in my head because there's a common factoid to bring up, and then I look like a retard when I can't remember which fucking three-letter media group it was. In a shocking development, an FBI agent allegedly tried to sell a copy of the Oklahoma City bombing surveillance footage to a major TV news program in the fall of 95. FBI documents dated October 27th and October 30th, note the date corresponds with the October 28th, 1995 Associated Press piece, detail how a LA-based FBI agent tried to sell the surveillance footage to Dateline NBC for over $1 million. Confidential source of the network contacted the FBI, and a report based on that contact is worth reproducing here in full. The source related that Dateline, and this is in quotes, so this is from it. The source related that Dateline, an NBC television show, has been contacted by an unknown attorney representing an LA agent of the FBI. On behalf of the agent, the attorney offered to sell a copy of the surveillance tape recovered from Oklahoma City, which shows the activity outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building just prior to the bomb blast. It was represented the videotape would contain a time-lapse photography of the arrival and then departure of a UPS truck. Then a Ryder truck pulls up and a male resembling Timothy McVeigh is seen exiting the driver's side of the Ryder truck and then walking away. The second male then walks away in the same direction as the first male. So this is according to the source of the network, this is what they have. A December 95 report published by Media Bypass magazine described the attempted sale and added additional detail from FBI sources familiar with the investigation. According to the report, as a result of the FBI's agents' attempted sale of the footage of the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility, opened an investigation. The investigation would seek to document the chain of custody for the FBI's seized surveillance footage and identify agents with access, and to identify the agent who attempted to make the sale. So, in additional content, once again, just to back up, a confidential source contacted the FBI, and report based on that contact is what happened. So, and essentially, as I frequently when I bring up this little factoid, a confidential source of the network contacted the FBI. So, what that means is someone, when this person tried to give the surveillance footage to them, someone from from Dateline NBC, someone within that organization, contacted the FBI to rat them out. I mean, wild. I mean, if you were a news agency and you had the surveillance footage of like what was essentially 9/11 at the time, and essentially confirmation of John Doe 2, and actually being able to see the bombing when that hadn't been the case. I mean, maybe you may not want to spend $1 million. I mean, I think it's well worth more than $1 million for what you could make off of it. But quite insane to go, oh no, we're just gonna rat them out and make sure this never happens. So kind of tells you something. A little bit of Mockingbird vibes coming off here. December 1995 report published by Media Bypass Means described the attempted sale and add additional detail from FBI sources familiar with the investigation. Oh, I already read that. My bad. The Media Bypass report indicated that it was determined an LA FBI agent who possessed the footage was not assigned to the FBI's OKBOMB case and was therefore not authorized to possess the footage, much less to attempt an illegal sale for millions of dollars. An FBI source who spoke to Media Bypass said that the agent attempted to profit from the tragedy, apparently obtained a copy of the video from a fellow agent in Oklahoma City. Now, this is a thing, too. I've heard rumors of this, that this is apparently like within the office of the FBI, that they were not very good about when it came to copies, viewing this, whatever. It was kind of just a Wild West to some extent. So point being is that like it really is not that outside the realm of possibility that we could just one of these days it just drops because somebody's on their deathbed or whatever, some former Fed who got a copy or whatever. I mean, this guy wasn't even assigned to the case and he somehow got a copy, and this was crazy shit. Texas-based FBI agent, believed by this reporter to be Danny Colson, familiar with the investigation, told Media Bypass that another FBI agent based out of Oklahoma City was under investigation after he allegedly ran off at least 12 copies of the videotape for friends and coworkers. The agent said that there may be dozens, if not hundreds, of these surveillance videos now in circulation, and that everyone is waiting for the footage to show up on a current affair or hard copy. The Media Bypass feature on the attempted sale quotes an Oklahoma private investigator, Robert Gerlow, whose attorney, Randy Shadid, was representing the agent attempting to sell this tape. Gerlow told Media Bypass that the FBI agent screened the surveillance tape for Dateline at an Orange County deputy sheriff's home in October of 95. An FBI document from investigation of the attempted sale confirms this, stating that Dateline was able to view the videotape at the home of an Orange County deputy sheriff. The 19-minute VHS tape was composed of video sourced from multiple surveillance cameras shot from several angles by cameras mounted on buildings along Fifth Street, including footage showing the truck pulling up to the Murrah building a couple minutes before 9 a.m. According to the investigation, the tape concludes with footage that shows the actual initial detonation of the truck bomb. Okay, so the initial detonation, but you see the people come out. So maybe, just maybe, or not even, when I say maybe, I mean, well, actually, I do mean you may not be able to tell like what the deal is with the explosion, as it sounds like. But at the very least, we get confirmation of John Doe 2 here, because I mean the secondary thing when it comes to actually getting footage is the idea of that you actually get to view the explosion and see if it lines up with it being a truck bomb. I mean, you might be able to tell from it, but it says only the initial. Ultimately, the sale of the surveillance footage to Dateline NBC never occurred, and no word of what happened to the FBI agent attempting to make the sales emerge. However, it's incredibly likely the FBI was able to determine the identity of the FBI agent who tried to sell the footage. The Media Bypass report and FBI documents from the investigation provide enough identifying information about the LA-based agent to determine his identity. Information provided by the FBI's confidential source, NBC, reveals numerous details about the agent who attempted to sell the footage to Dateline. He's based out of the LA office. He was GS-13, which is pay grade, 16-year FBI veteran in 95, between the ages of 38 and 42. in 95. He was a former sniper instructor at Carlos Hathcock School. And he served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 82 to 88. Well, I mean, given that, yeah, they knew who he was. Let's be real. That's specific enough to be able to tell who he was. So the NBC revealed all these details. So information provided by the FBI's confidential source, NBC. So this is the fucking rat who told on this FBI agent. He's the one who gave him all this information. So, I mean, I guess for some reason that we were able to get out of it. So that's, yeah, they definitely got him. During the course of the investigation, the FBI would have recovered any extant unauthorized copies of tape, though the possibility remains that at least one person out there may still have a copy today. The FBI's release of incomplete footage and their assertage that footage depicting the bombing doesn't exist is simply not credible in light of the known facts concerning the surveillance tapes. FBI agent John Hersley testified about 2 different recordings that produced still images of the riot truck in McVeigh's Mercury Marquis during the April 27, 1995 preliminary hearing. Reports published in the LA Times and by the Associated Press in October 95 indicate that surveillance footage exists which shows a riot truck with 2 people in the truck. Secret Service timeline states with an incredible degree of specificity that footage exists showing the riot truck park in front of the Murrah building. FBI agent Danny Colson's statements support this, with Colson saying point blank, "We had video of the truck pulling up a couple minutes to 9. FBI agent Pamela Matson denoted at least 2 tapes being positive in terms of evidentiary value in her review of seized surveillance recordings. What all this indicates is that these tapes exist, but there is something on the tapes that the FBI doesn't want people to see. The question then arises, what do the tapes show? Why is the FBI seeking to suppress this surveillance footage? The only conclusion that can be reached is that the surveillance footage shows McVeigh was not alone the morning of the bombing, thus introducing the notion that others were involved who were never apprehended. This is a conclusion that is reasonable, based at least in part on what the witnesses in downtown Oklahoma City saw that morning. FBI agent Danny Colson told the BBC in 2007 that we know there were 24 people that were interviewed by the FBI that said they saw Mr. McVeigh on April 19th with someone else. They told the agents what they saw, and the agents wrote it down. If only one person had seen that, or 2 or 3, but 24 people say, yes, I saw him, McVeigh, with somebody else, that's pretty powerful. I also do want to add a little note to that. It's more than 24. I know that for a fact, because I have interviewed someone who actually put in their police report that they saw John Doe 2, and that police report disappeared, and they never got interviewed by the FBI accordingly. So that was one stat that was missed, and that was Steve Vassar, who I've interviewed on my channel, and he saw John Doe 2. So there's at least one. Now, if there's one, I bet you there's more, and I wouldn't be surprised. There are other people whose reports or claims didn't get marked down. So yeah, consider this. If the surveillance footage had shown Tim McVeigh alone, then it probably would have aired on every news network across the country. The fact that this footage has never seen the light of day, in spite of having been documented at length, raises serious questions about the bombing, which to this day have not been answered. It's time to release the tapes in full, without redaction. Judging by the FBI's past action relating these tapes, that is unlikely to occur. Perhaps one day, someone out there who still has a copy of the footage will come forward to settle the case once and for all. However, even if that were to occur, it would be unlikely to settle a case with any level of certainty. After all, with deepfake technology and the increasing sophistication of CGI, there remains a possibility that any footage released today could be of unknown provenance. That is to say, any copy produced today could quite easily be subject to material alteration. If any footage is produced at this late date that is alleged to show the bombing in full and without redaction, what appears on the tape would necessarily need to match up with what has been described in Secret Service documents and news reports produced in 95. A rider truck parks in front of the Murrah building, and 2 men get out of the truck. 3 minutes and 6 seconds after the suspects exit the truck bomb detonates. Should a tape miraculously appear and it shows something other than this, critics will rightly point out that what appears in the newly produced footage does not match up with what has been documented about the tapes. Ultimately, there exists so much evidence concerning these surveillance tapes that experts know what to expect should footage be released, and we also know what would not appear on such a tape. McVeigh, alone. All right, let's check in the chat. That was long, but hey, we finished it. Let's get in there. Oh, geez, man, you guys being quiet in there. All right. Well, geez, guys. Man, y'all were being quiet in there. Man, y'all are still here. I can see the numbers. Y'all didn't leave, just being quiet in the chat. All right, guys. Well, I think that might be it. A little bit of a short one today. I might pop in with y'all tomorrow. Hopefully Austin's back. Maybe we can get him to do a Sunday one. But if not, I don't know. Maybe we'll take tomorrow off. Maybe not. We'll see. But I guess while I do want to remind you guys, if you do want to support what I'm doing over here at patreon.com/nowayjose20, if you want to support what I'm doing over here, I said that totally wrong. I zoned out. If you want to support what I'm doing over here, you can support that over at patreon.com/nowayjose2020. The lowest level is $2. That gives you the early access to the episodes. For example, tomorrow night, I am supposed to be recording with Biggest Shitter again. That just dropped yesterday. You guys seem to really be loving it, the Vegas episode. But I'm recording it again with him tomorrow. So if you're a patron, you would be getting that. You'd be getting it like right off the bat. You wouldn't have to wait till it drops on Friday. You can also be a talking head on Already Dead, which is me and Austin's weekly live show. We do call-ins on that. The second half of the show is call-ins. And on that, you can, if you are a supporter of me or Austin, you can come on as a video call-in. You can essentially be a talking head on the screen alongside me and Austin. Also, you can ad-free RSS feed there. The highest levels of my sponsors, I read them off every episode. My co-host on Tower Gang, at Tower Gang Toad. Also at Abracadese, at ZOVERICK, at _InfantZeal. Also have Tim Tuttle, at Jolly Uncleable. Then I have Will Bell's delicious blueberry wine, blueberry rabbit eye wine. And also a big fan of the show, Torrin May. And then at INWARD Lover, because you all should learn to look inward and love ourselves. We should all be inward lovers. Make sure to hit the like button if you're watching this on YouTube, Rumble, whatever. If you're listening to this on one of the audio packages, please go give me a 5-star review. It helps out a lot. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that over at Tower Gang Jose. That's a good place to tag me and stuff if you want me to bring it up on the show. But yeah, with that, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. I'd like to hear back from you guys. I mean, I've brought up comments before, so yeah, see Pistolero's just popping in. Yeah, we were listening. See, great stream. Thank you. You have a great day too, Kim. Later, guys. See you, everybody. Inward lover. Yeah, we should all be inward lovers here. Inward. Learn to look inward and love yourselves, all right? But yeah, with that, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Deuces.